And at some point, you realize the past doesn't have to define you. The detours, the setbacks, the closed doors, they're all part of the story, your story. And here, we're all about second chances, fresh starts, and those moments that change everything. Welcome to the Breakthrough Sessions podcast, where we talk about the messy, the beautiful, and the in-between. Because every ending is just the beginning of something new. I'm Refilwe, and this is the rebirth. Let's get into it. Hi, I come back. It's been a couple of years. I have been MIA. A lot happened. Yo, a lot happened. And initially, I was supposed to take a short break, but a short break turned into a couple of years. So, yeah, my bad on that. But I share quite a bit about that in the first episode. I actually have a guest on the episode. I wouldn't call her a guest because we tag teamed this episode. She actually leads it. One of my best friends, Nsuku Mabundza. So I'm excited for y'all to check out episode 1. I think it's going to be really, really, really great. And I think it's a necessary conversation, a nice, necessary introduction to what the season is about, and also to hype y'all up for what's to come. So this season is titled the Rebirth series. It's all about second chances. It's all about starting again, and really just being open to new beginnings. So I really hope that you love this season. I poured blood, sweat, and tears into it, and I'm excited for it. It is honestly what I think one of the best things I've ever done. So I hope you love it. I hope you love this episode, and yeah, stay tuned for what's to come.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Breakthrough Sessions. You are probably wondering who is speaking. It's Nsuku, and today I have the pleasure of hosting your host. She doesn't need an introduction, but I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey guys, we are back. I am Refilwe, for those who are new, and for my old fans, I am so glad to be back. It has been a rough 2 years. I think the last time I released an episode was in 2022.
That is a lot of time.
Yeah, no, guys, a lot was going on. Like, really, at some point, I was just like, I need to pull myself towards myself because there is really a lot that I needed to figure out within myself. You know, there was a lot going on behind the scenes. And I didn't realize it would be this long until I returned. I always thought I'd be one of those people who were like, no, I'll stay consistent through hella high water. In the deepest, darkest struggles, I will make sure that I'm consistent. And then life showed her flames.
Yeah. Welcome.
No, yeah, but at least now I'm back, and I think I have a lot that I need to share and unpack, and we'll chat a lot about that in this episode, and then probably over the consecutive episodes. But you'll probably see a different kind of podcast because this series, which I've coined the Rebirth, is really evolving as I've evolved. So it's really a retelling of the person that I was versus the person that I am now, and rediscovering myself. Guys, I've not arrived, ne? I really have not arrived. I am still trying to figure out my life.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, there are probably a lot of people out there who are going through the same thing. So
Yeah.
let me take them through this journey as well. So,
Yeah. So they don't feel like they're alone.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But before we get into my life, why don't you take the people through who you are, how we got here? Girl, what's going on?
Okay, guys. I'm Nsuku, and I've got the pleasure of being the Fierce co-host. For those of you who have been fans, you've probably listened to my episodes. I think that was like in 2021. 2021,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, and yeah, I also haven't arrived. My story will sound like I've arrived, but I haven't. I'm also still trying to figure it out. I didn't give you guys the tears. That's just that. But yeah, I'll be walking this journey with you guys. That's just me.
Cool.
Yeah. So since I'm the driver of this car, I'd say it's an M4.
Ooh,
I'm starting where we can start is by, starting the car is where have you been? Where have you been the past years? I think let's start with your last episode. Like from your last episode, like what was happening? Yeah.
Sure.
Take us back so we can understand how we got here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try and break it up into bits and pieces because it's a very, very, very long story. And if I had to really get into the detail of it, we'd be here all day and all night. But taking it back to 2022, when my last episode dropped, I think at the time there was a lot going on in my family. We had experienced a series of people passing on, and it was very shocking, very sudden. And at first, with the first passing in 2021, I was like, it's sad. It was tragic.
Yeah.
But I need to move forward somehow.
Yes.
Grief doesn't leave you, but you kind of learn to walk hand in hand with it.
Yeah.
But then in 2022, then I was hit with 2 more griefs in the family. And that was like a good probably 4 or 5 months after the first one.
Yeah.
And then 2023, I was hit with another one. And then like it really just got to a point where I was like, I need to focus and spend a lot of time with my family. And also I need to be grateful for what I have and also appreciate what I have. So I wanted to really enjoy that as well, because you never know when it's going to be gone.
Yes, that's true.
So that was what was happening on a personal front. There was also a lot of other things happening personally with my family, with myself, that really, there was a lot going on at the same time. So I struggled to really focus on what to heal from, because everything was happening at once.
Yeah.
And then professionally, there was also some struggles there. I think a lot of what I've been going through personally spilled over into work. And suddenly, especially with the passing in 2023.
Yeah.
So my cousin passed away from mental health. And it was very sudden as well. We were pretty close on age. And like for the last probably 5 years of her life, like we were very close.
Yeah.
She was like one of my favorite cousins.
Yeah.
And like, I knew that she wasn't happy, but I didn't know it was that bad, So then getting hit with that, with someone that I thought at the time, and probably still do think was my person.
Yeah.
I think that unraveled me. Whoa, that really, really unraveled me. And when that happened, it really, a lot of things felt insignificant. Not necessarily on purpose. It just suddenly things that I thought were important to me weren't.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then I had to, I guess, figure out what now. What does this version of Refuta look like after all of this tragedy? And because of her passing, it really forced me to think about, one, how short time actually is. And two, you have to live a life worth living.
Yes.
You have to live a life worth fighting for, even. That really became my mantra after she passed away, that live a life worth fighting for, because you never know when it could just be gone. So yeah, I had to really change a lot of things professionally. And really I felt so much like I wasn't aligned with what the life that I was currently living. And then career-wise also, I felt like I wasn't aligned anymore. And I thought I had always felt like this. And I felt different. And I didn't know how to pinpoint what the issue was.
Yes.
And then when she passed, then I felt completely misaligned. And then it was like, okay, what do I need to do to get out of this funk? I thought it would be a funk. It ended up being years upon years, going into, I think this was the second full year of her passing. And now I reached a point where I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with this feeling? And yeah, it forced me to make a lot of hard choices. I chose to walk away from my career. Yes, there was also other things happening there that also made it a bit uncomfortable for me. And I guess that, coupled with the fact that within myself I wasn't fulfilled.
Yeah.
I really reached a point where I had to make a hard decision. And I was presented with an opportunity to do just that. And I thought, it's time to figure out who the feeler actually is. That was last year. So it's been a couple of months since.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did do a lot.
I did. Oh,
You went through a lot. Death is, experiencing that and having to mourn someone is a lot. And I feel like you're also mourning yourself because it sounds like you thought you knew yourself and then through, what was going through in the family, you realized that actually, the life I'm living isn't the one that I want to live. So I just want to backtrack to that because you say that you felt misaligned. So I just want to understand, when did you feel that you were misaligned in terms of your career? Because obviously you changed courses in varsity. Yes, where you also felt misaligned. And then now you come back and where you thought you were aligned, you again felt like you were misaligned. So at what point did you feel like you were misaligned? Was it when you started working, while you were busy with your honors? Or when did it start? Yeah.
So I can't pinpoint the exact moment.
Okay.
I felt like here it's not how it's supposed to feel.
Okay.
But I know pretty early on when I started working, I felt like, I thought I had a vision of how it was gonna feel to start at work.
Okay.
And then when I got to work, it wasn't that. And it wasn't I didn't think it was because of the environment at the time, or I actually didn't know what it was at the time. I just didn't feel the way I wanted it to feel. And I think a part of me, yes, I think when we all go into the workplace, we have high expectations of what we're expecting it to be, which I guess is first mistake, right? Never have high expectations of wherever you're going to. Really manage your expectations so that you don't get disappointed, or you don't overhype it, or it doesn't end up being something that you didn't want it to be. But even with that, getting in with high expectations and then it not being what I wanted it to be, I think it had a lot to do with myself as well.
Okay.
And that's when maybe the feeling was there before I got there, but it started bubbling to the surface when I was in it. Or maybe it kind of just hit me one day that, girl, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I remember pretty early on in my career where I did feel like something was off. It really, and like really the feeling, it feels like there's something switched off in you. And because I know myself more than anyone else on this planet, I could feel when I wasn't my best self. But I couldn't pinpoint what the issue was. I think now that I'm kind of out, I can put a name to what it is, and that's why I'm saying it's misalignment.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know why it felt so off. And then it just got worse.
Oh no.
Yeah, it really got worse. And there were times where, if I'm being honest with myself, like I tried to pray it away. I just thought maybe it was all in my head. I thought that maybe I was overthinking it, or, give it a chance. It'll go away. I felt like this before. Like I had all those feelings. But if it would go away, it'd be very momentarily. So it would be temporary. Now I'm not really feeling it, but it would come back. And then, then I had to really
sit down and dig deep.
So, forcefully so, violently so.
Oh, you fought.
No, I fought. I fought. Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I think for someone who's listening, I think they would probably be wondering like how it felt. So what the feeling was it? And you also spoke about like if it would go, it was temporary. So would it be like maybe a project at work that excites you? Like what were you feeling, or what was it? Like when you wake up, you were like, I don't want to go there. Or when you were there, you were just like, I hate these people. What was it?
Sure.
Made you feel like, no, man, I should not be here.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go to the feeling part of how it feels like for me first, and then I'll answer the next question. So I'm an energy-based person. I think I've said this in an episode or two in the original podcast.
Yeah.
I'm an energy based person. I gravitate towards energy. I also kind of know when the energy is off, maybe in a person or in an environment.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've kind of determined that, it's very difficult for me to, act different or respond differently, because it's lingering.
Yeah.
It's very much lingering for me. I think some people would call it a sixth sense. Other people call it a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to call it an energy. So it that's what I'd felt at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was very quiet. It was still bubbling.
Okay.
But yeah, I had that sort of feeling or that energy that something just wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And again, I think it had more to do with me. And then in terms of what I did with that after, like, it was okay. I'm still trying to figure that out. I am really still trying to figure it out. And yeah, I'm trying to remember what the second question was.
My second question was, you said it would go away like 10 minutes.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it would be the people.
Okay.
So not necessarily coworkers, but even my friends, family, and then yes, the friends that I have at work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it would be the project. Sometimes I'll do a project that excites me. It really makes me feel alive. Sometimes it's the team. Sometimes it's the setting. So maybe the season at the time. o- and it wasn't predictable. So it would just kind of like creep up on me, and then suddenly I'd feel this kind of bursts of happiness, bursts of fulfillment. I think that's a better word to use.
Yeah.
But I call it a burst because it never lasted. It was very quick to disappear quite suddenly. And maybe that was also a frustration for me.
Yeah.
Because I could never make it last.
Yes, and you wanted to.
I did.
You
I
wanted to
did.
last,
I
yeah.
thought this was what I wanted. This is where I wanted to be. This is what I wanted to do. And it's quite ironic because I know myself to be a multi-passionate person. Even in varsity, I wasn't just doing one thing. Otherwise, I'd get bored out of my mind. And I thought I'd never be that person who would just be doing one thing. But then I found myself just focusing on work, and everything else or all the other things that I cared about kind of like disappeared. Not on purpose. I think when I started feeling that misalignment, it also spilled over into other things. And then when I was dealing with the personal issues as well, like my light just became dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. Obviously, that had an impact on my mental health. I had to walk the journey of being a depressed person and like what that looks like. I saw my psychologist. I had a psychiatrist. There was just a lot going on. And then I think I read this quote. I'm trying to remember how the quote goes, but I'm just going to paraphrase. Something like, there is no, when you're anxious, so we can really change it to when you're going through something mentally,
Yeah.
there is no room for creativity, because creativity thrives on you being at least an okay person.
Yes.
So when I wasn't okay, my creativity fell away. It's like it's like I honestly felt like I was having an out of body experience where I was just watching my life happen before my eyes, and things were disappearing, were fading away. It wasn't even that like I was hard stopping them.
Yeah, it
was just fading away, and I couldn't reach. I couldn't pull them back. I couldn't fight for it. I think the podcast also was one of those things that just faded away. It just felt so far away. And I also don't want to pat myself on the back to be like, oh, and then I built my confidence and I returned and now I'm here. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
There's a process. And honestly, I'm here sitting on this couch because of other people who believed in me and who believed in this podcast. I had people who reach out to me in these 2 years, being like, my sister, when the podcast is coming back? Yeah. And at the time I didn't think I was really reaching that many people. And maybe that also has to do with the depression.
Yeah.
But it felt so far away. It felt like a foreign language. I even had to have a friend hold me accountable and ask her to just help me get back into it. That's the reason why I also got a co-host, was because I was like, I don't think I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
I need someone to do it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because inadvertently in all of this, my confidence was shot. So it's also like, and I've never experienced not having confidence. Like, even in the worst of things, guys, in the worst of it, I would still be
have your
confident.
confidence. You're confident.
Exactly.
I think that's crazy because you wouldn't think your confidence would be shut down by work
Yeah.
or by something that you wanted so much, only to find that it's not good for you. And you also spoke about depression and mental health. I just want to dive down into that because in our generation, we do struggle a lot with like mental health. So I just want to know how, because you spoke about psychologists too, but in those 2 years, I'm guessing that's how you kept afloat by, speaking to people and speaking to psychologists. So just take us down that road. Like, what got you to where you are now, that you are okay mentally? Yeah.
To answer that question, I need to also go back to how I actually sought out help.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not my first time seeing a psychologist. I saw a psychologist when I was in varsity, when I was going through the most with my academics there. I talked about that in a previous episode in season 1, if I'm correct. So please be sure to check that out. The name of the episode is Academic Failure.
Yeah.
But then I stopped for a bit, and then I thought, okay, I think I'm fine. I've got the tools that I need to kind of keep pushing, so we're just gonna hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And then even with the deaths, I was somewhat okay.
Okay.
And I say somewhat because at the time I think I was okay, but it was just a grief that I was suppressing or not necessarily addressing.
Okay.
And then my cousin, when she passed away on the 29th of May. Her funeral happened, I want to say around the 4th of June. So we were there for the weekend and then came back that following Monday. I woke up probably feeling the most devastated I'd ever felt in my life. Maybe because when you're assisting in a funeral, you're planning.
Yes, you're busy.
You're busy.
Yes.
So there isn't time to grieve. Yes, you'll cry, when the body comes on Friday and all these other things. You'll have moments of tears and sadness, but like you're also in planning mode.
Yes.
So maybe that's where I was at the time. So I wasn't really processing it the way I thought I was. So the Monday after, when reality finally hits that this person is gone, then I think everything hit me all at once. And I felt so sad. Like it's the kind of sadness that I never want anyone to go through ever in their life, because it was heavy. It felt like I couldn't get out of bed. Like I physically couldn't get out of bed. And in that moment, I looked online and I searched for a psychologist right then and there, and I told her I need to see you today.
Really?
Yes. I was like, I cannot sleep feeling like this.
Yeah.
I need to see you today. And yeah, I saw her that afternoon and then cried, bawled my eyes out. But I felt so much better after that.
Oh, that's good.
So since then I've been seeing her regularly. It was a lot more in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then it kind of slowed as I started to feel a lot more better and as I managed to, gain the tools that I needed to keep pushing.
Yeah.
She really helped me. She was the one who really helped me realize that grief is not something that you process, heal, put it away, move on.
Yeah.
Because life is that short and things happen. Grief is something that I need to learn to
Live with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live with it, walk side by side with it.
Yeah.
Almost live a life around it and figure out who I am, after it. So I needed to really learn to be that person. And that's why I continue to, see a psychologist to this day. It's the same theory as when you drive a car and you take a car for service. You're not going to take a car to service when it's broken down and it's fighting for its life.
Yes.
You're going to take it preemptively
Yeah.
because you're ensuring that it doesn't break down. So that's kind of the approach that I saw my psychology journey take. And yeah, I've been going ever since. And now getting to the person that I am today, definitely don't think I'd be the person that I am today if it wasn't for her. I like to think of myself as someone who has a lot of emotional intelligence as is, but I learned so much more in seeing a psychologist and her helping me and guiding me to be where I am now. And with my diagnosis also, she helped me come to terms with my diagnosis, because the formal term is MDD, major depressive disorder.
Okay.
Yeah. So having to come to terms with that as well. I wouldn't have come to terms with it if getting it was sort of hit. If it hit me suddenly, I think
yes, it was a
it was a build up.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
To the point where I, with her guidance, of course, had then reached that conclusion. With the guidance of her, actually, and the psychiatrist, maybe I put it like that. I had then reached the conclusion that, okay, this is what I have. And at least with medical depression or major depressive disorder, it's a clinical diagnosis,
Oh,
meaning it's treatable.
yes.
So there are different kinds of depression. I'm not sure if people know that. Yeah, there's the one that's like lifetime.
Yes.
Maybe people feel that they're born with it, etc. Then there's the one that is hit by an event. It's triggered by something.
Okay.
Yeah. So mine at least was triggered, and then it's something that could have been healed. And that's the journey that I am now. That's the journey that I'm on now.
Okay.
So we're recording this in January, guys. For your knowledge. So
2025, by the way.
yes, we should have started with Happy New Year.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that because I'm still on treatment.
Yes.
So by the time this episode drops, I would have been done with the treatment. Yeah, so I'm still on treatment, and guys, I haven't arrived. I'm still trying to figure my life out, but like I'm feeling much better, and yeah, just it helped a lot. It's helping a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're feeling better.
Yeah.
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 Better than where you were.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the deep stuff.
Wait, was that not the deep stuff already?
I mean, it was deep. You know, it was deep. But I think you spoke about something about leaving a job. And, you know, in this economy, you know, I think that probably wasn't an easy decision.
Of course.
And I think we've got an idea of what led you to that. But I think if you just give them an idea of like what was going on in your head, what was happening the months leading to that, you know.
Sure.
Obviously she won't tell us the company, but she could just tell us, you know, what was happening in the environment, how she was feeling, and how you got to that decision. Yeah.
So going off of the misalignment chat that we had earlier, I think that played a factor in pushing me in that direction. But also I'm a Christian, so I really felt like God was talking to me for a while, but because I want to be the controller of my life, I was very reluctant to want to change or sway or walk away. And I mean, I don't know, I somewhat feel like it's fair because to me, it felt like I needed to abandon my whole life and start again.
Okay.
Abandon is a strong word, but that's how it felt like at the time. And I wasn't willing to do that. You know, it felt like I had to lose everything.
Yeah,
Just
you were not
okay.
ready to just lose everything.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is ready.
Yeah.
Because you need to let go of a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in our age, we love our independence. And
Exactly.
losing everything kind of means being dependent.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like a physical sense, like it's an economical thing, right? But also like from an emotional standpoint, from a mental health standpoint, there's also like the impact of what that decision would have on my emotions and also on my mental health.
Yeah.
So there were also thoughts that kind of crept into my mind in terms of like, okay, but what are other people gonna say, you know, if I leave?
Yeah.
And you know, what's my parents gonna say? How are people gonna look at me? Like that was the factor. I'm not an egotistical or a prideful person, but that still was there.
I think that I wonder if that voice ever goes away. I think it's always a thing.
True.
Yeah, because I've watched from TikTok. Guys, I'm a TikToker. A lot of people say once they get into their 30s, they don't care about what people think. So I hope that
when it happens
in our 30s, you know, that voice is gonna go away. But I don't think you're the only one who has that. Who just considers like, what are they going to say? Whoever it is. Yeah.
That's a good point, because I'm also wondering that even people who are successful or society's definition of success, even them, I'm sure they also have feelings of how people are going to react, how people are going to say.
Yes.
Maybe it's more about culling that noise and not letting it be noise, as opposed to removing that from your system. Because I don't think that's possible. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had those feelings. And then in terms of, the situation, definitely the major factor was the misalignment thing.
Yes.
And the moment I started, like, I had a handle over it for a while. But then after everything happened with my cousin, then it kind of just exploded in me.
Yeah.
And I had reached a point, because I felt like the things that I was doing, and not necessarily just work, but just like the energy that I was contributing, in work, at church, amongst my family, my friends, whatever, just felt so insignificant. And then to the point where I didn't, and I don't think this was on purpose, but I think a part of me didn't really care so much about
anything.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
which is really, it's such a red flag.
I feel like you were detached.
Yes, dissociated.
Yes. Or yes. Yes.
That's a much better way of saying it.
Yes.
I dissociated. I
Yes.
completely dissociated. And then it goes back to also what I was saying, that it felt like I was watching my life kind of happen before my eyes. And then at the time, I felt like I knew, because I was in so much pain. I just wanted to grieve. But I didn't have the luxury of time to do that. Because another thing is, when you experience grief, it's not like the world around you stops.
It's moving.
It's moving fully.
It's moving.
Everyone is, they're just going about their days. Yeah. And to an extent, that also made me mad. That how can you guys just live?
But they're not wrong.
They're not wrong. They're really not wrong.
Yeah.
And that was the grief talking.
Yeah.
I couldn't fathom. My brain couldn't reconcile how I'm just supposed to go on. And because it can't even figure that out, there wasn't enough room left for me to think about other stuff. And to the point where, because I felt like, I wasn't comfortable, and I wasn't in a place where things felt like they were in place, that affected work, which then also affected the quality of work. And I'm a very private person. I'm not going to go to every Tom, Dick, or Harry and say, oh, my cousin went through ABC.
Yeah, I'm going to this.
Yeah. There was a lot of blowback from that, which I'm understanding now. Maybe at the time I was very emotional, and I felt like I was not the problem. But that's the grief talking.
Yes, because you're focused on what you're going through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But I know now that the grief really ran the last 6 months of 2023. It really, really did. I was floating. I was unrecognizable. I was very uncharacteristic, and I know that. I knew that at that part. I knew at the time, but I just didn't know how to fix it. Even with therapy, which helped.
Yes.
It made it better. It was almost like adding, not even, there's a saying that says adding a plaster to a bullet wound.
Yes.
It wasn't even like that. It was more like there was at least a bandage, nyana,
Oh, but
yeah.
that's still not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Yes. But fine, I reached the end of third year of 2023, where I had then taken the month of December to really introspect and figure out how I can somewhat rebuild, but also light the light inside of me that had dimmed.
Yes.
And December was kind of like the last month where I was like, I'm done with it being as painful as it was. I needed to come back. At least I wouldn't have been healed, but at least trying to find myself, start the journey of healing.
Yeah.
Maybe. And that's what happened in this year, well, 2024 rather.
Yeah.
And for a while there, I knew, because of the misalignment, I needed to figure out what I'm going to do with that.
Okay.
And potentially figure out, does that mean I have to walk away? And then also really dealing with the emotions of still the grief. And yeah, the first few months in 2024, I was still floating.
Okay.
I really know I was still floating. I think I was a shell of a person that I used to be at that time.
Sure.
But I was more aware of it, and I was trying not to let it fester or linger. I was trying to find ways to not let it take over my life, or take over my life even more than it already had.
Yeah.
And that meant probably making a hard decision, in terms of applying, maybe doing something that I felt like was more aligned with the person that I am. I think my whole life I always had that feeling of I want to help people. I want to make an impact.
Yeah.
And not necessarily because in the work that I was in, I was helping people to an extent.
Yeah.
But like I wanted to properly go into communities and work with people. And, you know, I was always that kind of advisor amongst my friends, my family. And I think that's where I thrived.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do more purposeful, intentional work there. Not to say I couldn't do both at the same time, because again, I am a multi-passionate person, but I also felt like maybe that is where the spotlight should be. So yeah, I think those feelings coupled with the environment that just didn't serve me anymore because of the person that I had now become. And yes, that place also had its ups and downs, T's and C's, you know. Corporate isn't, guys, corporate isn't a,
It's not your mother's house.
exactly. Fully. Fully. It really is, it can really be a juggle at times.
Yeah.
And it needs you to be maybe firm in yourself. Yeah, maybe that's the best way of saying it. It needs you to be firm in yourself. And when you're not, it's going to shake you. So I started firm, I guess. And then, hey, I started teka quite quickly.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. And then it kind of just snowballed in my face. And then I kind of just needed to adjust. I didn't adjust for those last 6 months of 2023, but from 2024, I had to adjust to what happens now. And that was maybe the last few months of me being there. So I left last year. Yeah, and it was a tough choice. I will say it was a mutual choice.
Yeah.
And I think I was privileged in the sense that I was able to, I had support from my parents. You know, I was able to kind of use some of my savings, some of my funds to kind of maintain myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess there was something that also happened in August. I don't know if we want to talk about that now with regards to my car. And that also helped me kind of stay myself up to now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I guess, a blessing in disguise. I put it in inverted commas because I'm not sure yet
if it was a blessing.
Exactly. I think to an extent, but I'm not sure how big of a blessing. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I think it was a blessing because I mean, how much longer were you going to be unhappy? You know,
True.
and even when you say sometimes corporate can crush you because it's a jungle.
Yeah.
I think if it does crush you, then it's not for you.
True.
Yeah, I don't think we should be unhappy 5 days in the week, you know.
Yeah.
Some people thrive in corporate and they love it, you know, and good for them. But then some people don't, you
Yeah.
know. So I think, especially with the kind of person that you are, and not to say that corporate is not for you, I think that environment wasn't for you.
Yeah.
And I also believe, like, if you won't remove yourself, come
Woof. That's what happened with me.
yeah, I think you would have held on because you are thinking about what about the bills? What about my car? What about my apartment?
Exactly.
How am I going to pay that?
Exactly.
And God is just like, He'll just disrupt your life just so that you can focus on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
So I don't think, you know, it was for you. I think whether it's the environment or it was the company or the job, I think it wasn't for you. And it was a blessing because, you know, you will find what is for you. And you will look like, and you'll be like, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to use this opportunity to segue
Okay.
into my co-host story because I genuinely feel like this is a good time for you to share a little bit about your experience as well, especially in the corporate world. And kind of like the unconventional change, I guess, that you're embarking on as well.
Okay. So with me, I started working in 2021, November of 2021. It it was a job in like what I studied, you know, but I didn't enjoy it. You know, I was just like, but I was getting the money, so I was like, give me this money, give me the money, and I stuck with that, and I was just like, let me apply until I get something else, which I didn't. And I was just like, okay, maybe finance is not for me. And yeah, I left that job and I decided to stay home and just try something else. I was trying tech, so I was just like busy with certificates and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was also applying, and I got another job in finance. Um, in a company that I loved what they were doing. It was helping people. But the environment. Oh, guys, it's toxic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's toxic. Oh my goodness. But the thing that pushed me to stay was my colleagues and what I was doing. I was making a difference. And I would speak to the people who were helping. I don't want to say too much about what I was doing because I feel like people will put two and two together, but we were helping young people essentially. And every single time I had conversations with them, like their experience or their learning, like they were just always so happy, always would contact them to just give them the opportunities.
Yeah.
They were so happy. So that's the thing that pushed me, to stay. And also I was growing, I was learning a lot, And then it just got to a point where I couldn't take it mentally. And yeah, I was just like, no, man, I can't. So I quit once and I came back. And then I quit for the second time and I was like, I am not going back.
Yeah.
But this time I went back because my colleagues were like begging me, like, please come back. There's just certain things that we will be able to do because you were everything, because you were managing everything. So that's why I went back and I was just like, I was thinking about them and like I said, the people will help you too. So I went back and this was, I left in November. So good for you guys. Good for I came back, like a day after. And and the whole chat when I went back, I was like, no, I have a conversation with my manager, with the CEO and whatnot. That conversation never happened because of traveling and whatnot. And there are other things that made me, I don't want to talk about it because in case people just, search me and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, and that was like December, I wrote December. That January, I told myself, I was like, I'll go back, but I'm giving it to God. Just like, I'm giving it to God. And I also just told God, I was like, I want to see what my faith can do this year,
Yeah.
And I was at a time of praying and fasting. And then that first week, we got into, I don't want to say it's an argument. It's like the reason why I quit, like the final straw. It was a stupid thing, but it was like the principle. That's what I always tell everyone. It was like the principle and it was a build up. And then I was just like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. And I walked away. I walked away and I was just like, I don't think this is healthy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me. I walked away and I was unemployed for the year 2024. I mean, I taught English here and there because it was not for me. It's very repetitive, so it was boring. So at some point I left. But for most of the year, I was studying full time. I just decided to go back to school and still in finance. But yeah, just to keep myself busy is something I also wanted to do. And then now I'm employed again.
Yay.
Yeah, so that's just been my journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of working, career wise.
I want us to pause here for a minute because I also want to just tell the listeners and those who are watching that we're very lucky that we were put in positions where even though we were going through the most, we had an option to walk away.
100%.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in this economy, in this climate, who don't have that privilege. And that's why it really is privilege. That's what it is.
Yes, we're definitely privileged.
Yes. And that's something that I think both of us are grateful for.
100%.
Because it would have been a lot harder if we had kids, married, dependents on us, people who are dependent on us, rather, black tax. That's real.
Yes, that's a real thing in our country.
Yes. And I don't want to underscore that or discount that. I also want us to highlight that we are very fortunate that we were able to get those opportunities. And I think more importantly, that we were able to choose our mental health. And we were able to almost rediscover ourselves. And, yes, we had the support of our family, but I'm sure, and maybe you can also add on to this, it wasn't always, or it isn't always rainbows and unicorns.
It's not.
Yeah, it really isn't. Like, let's not also try to glamorize this.
Just say, you're unemployed.
Yeah, no.
That's not the chance.
Definitely not. And even for us, because I've been unemployed for a couple of months now, and like, I'm not sitting the whole day watching movies and having the time of my life and like really partying or living my best life. No. Some days are better than others. And there are days where it's a struggle to get to the end of the day, because a lot of us, unfortunately, do tie our careers to our work.
Yes.
To our identity. Very big. So when that happens and then the job is suddenly not there, then
it's like you don't know who you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fully. And then it's like, what do you do with that? So there were also moments of that, days of that as well. But people say you have to learn to have a routine, because that helps a lot.
Yes, that definitely helps.
Yes, have things that keep you busy. Like at least she was teaching. I've been really getting back into my creative side, podcasts, working on all these things, trying to really find myself again.
Yeah.
And more importantly, trying not to make my job my identity. I don't think I fully made it my identity, but I think there were times where I felt I was defined by my work. And not necessarily where I was working, but more the type of job that I was doing. So it's we're lucky. We are lucky, and we know that there are people out there who are probably having it rough and don't have the opportunity or unfortunate enough to get out. And I think the best thing that I can offer you, that we can offer you, is prayers. And hope that you'll get out of that situation, whatever happens. And that things will get better. I'd like to think things will get better. So, yeah.
And I think it's brave to say.
It is.
Definitely. In as much as you are brave enough to walk away, it's also brave to stay. Because, like we said, it eats your confidence, it eats your mental health. So having to stay in an environment that you hate, I can imagine like how many pep talks you have with yourself. How many times you sit down with yourself and you're just like, you just have to, because of maybe, toxic family dynamics, or, like you say, dependence when you're married, bills need to be paid, how the kid's gonna, go to school. So it's brave, I think we're just trying to show the other side. Yeah, because I think in the Black community, it's not a thing to leave a job.
No.
I have never heard of our parents or our aunts saying that, you know what, I left it on a job.
Yeah.
They just suck it up.
Yes. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So I think with us, I guess with the new, generation, we were brave enough to walk away, Yeah. Not that we're trying to normalize it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it.
I just thought of something. I'm also like, we're not telling you to leave the job.
Yeah, no, that's not what we say.
We're not going to cover you. We are not going to, if you tell your family that you left your job because Rifila and Soko told you to, we're not going to be in those meetings.
Yes.
And it will be a family meeting. We will not be in those family meetings to be able to back you up. It's something that you have to make that decision within yourself, whether you choose to leave or stay. And it needs, talking to the whoever you follow, whoever you believe in, a higher power, whatever that looks like, or whether you want to talk to your family, whether you want to do research, whether you want to talk to your friends, your partner, whatever that looks like, whether you decide to choose whether you're going to stay or go. But yeah, whatever decision happens, it's still a big decision at the end of the day, and I think it will definitely impact the trajectory of your life.
I think it's because I'm also a Christian, so for me it was also like a faith thing. It's like I'm trusting God, you know, like before I even make a decision, I literally pray and I was like, do I have peace with making this decision? And when I made that decision, it was so peaceful, you know, not to say that I wasn't worried about money and when I'll get a new job or what would happen after here. You know, those thoughts do come. But it was like a faith thing. I was just like, you know, if you've got to me to this point, you'll get me out of it, however it looks. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if I'm going to have a new career or I'm going to start a business, whatever it is, you know, but I'm trusting that, you know, this decision, you know, is going to work out for my good at the end of the day. So that's also like a thing. So your higher power, the universe, have a conversation with them and make that decision and be sure to stand on that decision.
Stand for a minute. That's important.
So that's also very, very important. You spoke about a car. You didn't touch on it.
I was hoping we were gonna skip over that.
I didn't want to touch on that because I just wanted to also show them that there were losses.
Yes, absolutely.
And kind of went through similar situations.
We did.
So just to show them that, you know, it wasn't all rosy. You know, you didn't just get here. There's a lot that happened for you to get to this point. So
sure. So on the 29th of August, I remember the date. Almost like it happened yesterday. I unfortunately got into a car accident. I was okay. There was physically very minor injuries. I just had a burn on my arm. And for the most part, I was okay. I was obviously shocked, and in shock because of the whole experience. And it happened on a highway. It was very much worst case scenario. Like it happened on a highway. It happened on the fast lane. Taxi was involved. Obviously on the fast lane, you're not driving 30 k's per hour, you know. But yeah, and it was one of those wrong place, wrong time. Because I wasn't even the person who caused it. It was between three cars. I was the third car. I was kind of like caught in the crossfire of the situation that was happening with the other two cars. But yeah, that happened. And then my pride and joy in my car. Oh, the love of my life. Because I mean, it's your first car. You never forget your first car. Yeah, unfortunately got written off. So that was a frustration. You know, it was already coming off of a bit of a hectic year. And then now my car being written off. But coming back to the whole blessing in disguise thing, because of that, it got written off. I had received the outstanding balance of how much I owed via my insurance and paid out to me. And suddenly I had a lump sum that could kind of carry me forward for the next few months, because buying another car wouldn't make sense.
Because where are you going?
Exactly. Where am I going? And then also financially wouldn't make sense. I don't even have the funds to cover it. Yeah. So we just thought, okay, fine, we'll set some money aside for in case I do end up getting a job, then I can use that money to go towards the deposit of my car. And then I'll use some of the money to kind of like sustain myself. We didn't want to lose my place. We didn't want to lose kind of like my standard of living. We didn't want it to be too affected. When I say we, I mean me and my family. So then we just thought, okay, let's maybe try and see how we can navigate this still traumatic situation while also trying to maintain somewhat of the standard of living that I had before all of this happened. So yeah, that happened too. Something else that I had to heal through. So yeah.
And that was like a few months after you decided to walk away from work.
Yeah, after I'd made that decision, that I think that's time.
That's a lot in 1 year. So
yeah.
Hectic.
It is. But you know, one thing I realized about last year,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe something that's carried forward, and actually things something I've seen in quotes, but maybe it made the most noise to me when I'd realized that is, both things can exist at the same time.
Mm.
So I could be grieving and happy for my friend at the same time. I could be, starting a new journey in my career professionally, then being hit by, a car accident where now I have to heal.
Yeah.
I could be grieving and still be flourishing at work. Both things can exist at the same time. No one said that we're complex human beings.
Yeah.
Our emotions are not supposed to come one after the other. Sometimes it hits you all at once.
That's true.
And when it does, then you have to really adjust accordingly.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It really do be like that.
Yeah, but how did you? Because now you're good, you're better, right?
Yeah.
And you've healed from obviously walking away. Obviously, with grief, it never ends.
Yeah.
But I think you're at a better standing point, and
Yeah.
also losing your first baby. Like, how are you sitting here and you're standing here and you still find joy and you still find happiness and you still find a reason to live, especially because it seems like you lost so much, you know? So how are you here trying to inspire people, trying, to give people hope?
Yeah. In my core, I believe that my purpose is to help people.
Yeah.
Whether it is before all of this tragedy happened or after, I am a strong believer in my purpose is to help people. And yes, maybe it had gone dim when things were like at its worst, but I'm trying to find myself back to that version of myself, or at least be that version of myself, because I feel like that's the best version of who Lufilo is. And it's not easy. I think I'll reiterate that in all of this, it's not easy. I know I make it look like I am just flourishing. Yeah, like I am shining. Like I look like I've got my life together.
Yeah.
But I really do not. And we need more people to be able to share their stories of what they're going through when they're still in it.
Yes. Because we usually just get the finished product.
Yes.
We usually just get, I went to this and that. And I'm good now. I'm rich now, or I'm CEO, whatever it is,
Yeah.
So I think you're right. It's very important because for me, I was seeking that. I looked for that. I was just like, I can't find people who, not that I don't know people who went through things, but it's like I was going through it by myself because all my friends are working corporate together.
Yeah.
All my friends are, okay, they don't have kids. So they're not working parenthood, but like, it's like everyone was in the same lane.
Yeah.
And I was in a different lane. So there was like no one that I could talk to. And not to say that I was happy when you like came to this side.
Yeah.
But it brought me comfort because I had someone who I could talk to who understood what I was going through.
Totally.
So it is important because someone might not have you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm guessing this is them having someone.
Definitely.
Yes.
I refuse to believe that I'm unique. I mean, you're also here. You're also an example of what it's like to live on the other side. But there are probably other people who are also experiencing the same thing, or something similar. So they might feel that they're alone. And that's why it's important for people like us to be able to share our stories and to remind them that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And even though we don't have our lives together, I refuse to believe that this is as far as it's going to be. I really refuse to believe that, we've come this far only to come this far. We really have to keep having faith and keep believing and hoping that things will get better and it will reach a point where everything just makes sense. Everything that we've been through just makes sense. And I'm not expecting to be happy when that happens, like happy permanently,
Mm-hmm.
because happy is a short-lived emotion.
Yeah, it is.
We're unfortunately meant to ebb and flow through life. But I'm at least hoping to feel. Well, I'm hoping to be the best version of myself.
Yes, yes.
And I want to live more in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I want to be able to take people with me on that journey. Because you never know when someone might need to hear those words, you know?
True. And it does get better. I think for me, what I learned last year is to, I don't know, to be happy within myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a lot going on. You know, I wasn't out all the time. I wasn't partying, or I wasn't living the way I used to live, you know?
Yeah.
So I was forced to be by myself, to understand who I am, and also to just love who I am. And you know, I realized that like whatever happens in life, I'll still be happy. I don't need a job. You know, I don't need the money. I will still be happy because I've hit rock bottom. You know, I've hit rock bottom where I'm just like, my life is a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask me in January, like, if I'll be here now, I'd say you're lying. You know, I would say you are lying.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it really does get better. And yeah, I can definitely say that. Really, so it does get better.
Definitely. Yeah. I think this is a good time to get into the game, yeah?
Okay, let's go.
Let's do it. So this is, if you're new to this, then this is a game that we played in the past. I used to play this with my guests. It's called We're Not Really Strangers. And we thought it fitting to keep it for this series as well, and for this season as well. So we're going to get into it, and it's going to get very interesting. So that's the game. This is the game. This is the game. So before I get into it, I'm just going to explain what it's all about. So We're Not Really Strangers is a purpose-driven card game and movement all about empowering meaningful connections. 3 carefully crafted levels of questions and wildcards that allow you to deepen your existing relationships and create new ones. There are 3 levels, as I mentioned. The first level is called perception. This is all about your impressions of yourself and the other players. Level 2 is called connection. This takes a deeper emotional dive into each other's past. Level 3 is called reflection. This gives us a chance to reflect on the connections we've made in our lives.
Okay, let's go.
We're about to get into it. Opening the box. Ooh. Okay, Nsuku, as my co-host,
Yes.
do you want to start us off?
Sure.
Section on the side.
Okay.
You can pick a random one,
Oh,
sorry,
I
but
don't have to.
as long as it stays in the actual category.
Let's do this. Let's see. What was your first impression of me?
My first impression of you.
Yeah.
Going back to my thing about energies, I thought you were a really chilled person. So we met in varsity.
Yeah.
In a lecture. I can't remember the lecture.
Accounting or
Financial management.
financial management.
One of
No, I think it was financial
I
management.
think so as well.
Yes.
And we were sitting in the same row, and like we were talking banter about something. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was at the time. And like we were gelling off of each other quite nicely. And I was like, I want this girl to be my friend.
Okay.
So naturally, I followed her to the next class. I was like, I'm not letting her go. We're gonna sit next to each other whether she likes it or not. But I thought your energy was very soothing. I thought you were cool. And I thought that like you were refreshing. That's the best way of saying. I really thought you were refreshing. So.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, I guess it's my turn now.
Okay, well, do you leave it?
You can just put it on the side. I think it's fine. Let us see. Let us see. Okay. What do you think I'm most likely to splurge on?
To splurge on.
If.
It's not purse.
Yeah.
It's not shoes. What would you splurge on? I think something that goes with your project. So depending on whatever project you'd be busy with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think obviously now you definitely splurged on some of your errands. You probably splurged on your passions. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. I think that's
that's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get that.
No, you got it. Hit the nail right on the head.
Okay.
Over to you for level 2, which is connection.
Connection. This is too right. Okay, yes. I just want to know if there's something that's in the middle.
Count.
Okay. What is a dream you've let go of?
Wow. What is a dream I've let go of? It's actually so deep. Um, maybe I haven't completely let go of it, but maybe I'm starting to. The corporate life to an extent.
Okay.
And I say to an extent because I've only really had one corporate job. So
Yes.
there is still a part of me, a really big part of me that's willing to jump back into it.
Yeah, just maybe in case you experience something different.
Yes.
Okay.
But a part of me is also content with the fact that that might not happen and that's okay. Yeah, like I'm starting to really wrap my mind around that.
It's like corporate, not for me.
I don't know if I'm completely there yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I'm trying to be more versatile in the direction that I'm willing to take.
Okay.
If it's really not, no, I think I'll stop there. I think that's enough. Yeah.
Okay, cool, Prince.
Okay. Let's take this card here. So good. Describe your perfect day.
My perfect day.
Yeah.
My perfect day it's just being with my loved ones. I'm always happy. So I wouldn't say like a specific person.
Yeah.
But I'm always refreshed. I'm always happy when I'm with the people that I love. So my friends and my family. So it doesn't have a specific person. But my perfect day is having good food. I don't put alcohol by I lived it. But some drinks over there. And we don't have to be doing much. It's just good conversations and nothing. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that would be my perfect day. Yeah.
Everything is a good vibe if you're with the right people.
Yes. So I don't have to be in a different country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that would be a perfect day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into reflection.
Okay, reflection. Let's go to the back. For reflection. Hold on. That is what would be the perfect gift for you?
For you.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's a tough one. It's also a tough one because like a lot's changed.
True.
Quite quickly.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, so I'm like, right now, oh, okay. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
But I think something to cull your anxieties.
Okay.
Yeah. And not
I need that.
Yeah, not alcohol, not drugs.
Yeah,
guys,
no,
but something organic and healthy to cull your anxieties.
that would be great.
Yeah.
Because I prefer distance.
Yeah.
So that would be great. Yeah. Okay, that's a good gift. You can't even put a price on it. So.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go to the front. This one. What would make you feel closer to me? Ooh. Damn.
Oh, I was about to spill the beans.
Are they beans to be spilled?
No. I was about to say, I thought like I'd say like cool say this.
Oh.
This podcast with you.
Yeah.
I
I love that.
Yeah.
That warms my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I was just like, the perfect time. And yeah, rebuild our relationship to be even more stronger than it already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause we spend like a lot of time.
Yeah.
And also bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
Ideas. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. That's good. That's great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you want to try another round or
Let's
is this
go.
enough?
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna start.
Okay, you can start.
Maybe that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going back to perception.
Okay.
Turn this around. What is my body language telling you right now? Sure. Okay.
Okay. You look relaxed. You also look happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're recording your first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look like you're in your element.
No.
Yeah. Your body language is giving, this is where I should be.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
Okay. I'm going to look back with this one.
Oh wait, just check. I think it's number 3.
Is that number 3? Oh yeah, it's 3. My bad. Let's go to the back of this one. Okay. Wild card. Maintain eye contact for 30 seconds. What did you notice? You're gonna time us. Or should I time
You can time us.
Okay. I'm so bad with eye contact.
I can't hold eye contact for 30 seconds. But okay. All right.
30 seconds. This time. I move. I think you're gonna have to do it. Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Preparing my eyes. So
I'm just gonna do 31 so that in case you look down.
okay.
Just in case you can have fun. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. It's you laughing.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because you're laughing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't forget the assignment.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. Mhm. Am I answering? You answering?
I guess because the wild card we won't have to answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
For me to sit in silence?
Not sure.
Maybe let's try and sit on silence instead of things.
30 seconds is on there. Mm-hmm. I started.
I don't trust you anymore. Oh, I can kind of see.
Oh my goodness, it's not 30 minutes, guys.
Oh, hectic. Surely it's been longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I had done 31 minutes.
That's
So
so
it
stressed.
was, I am so sorry, guys.
Oh, I was like, oh my
That
god,
was a
this is-
minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a minute.
Talk about a wild card in the wild.
That was a minute. That was a minute.
I think the number one thing that we both noticed is the fact that it's very awkward to maintain eye
It
contact.
really is.
Yeah, like it's guys, it's awkward.
Yeah.
What did you notice?
I noticed you actually have a small nose. I was like, oh, you've actually got a small nose.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Question mark.
And then I noticed your earrings
Oh yes.
and your frame.
Oh,
yeah. And your eyes. I also noticed that they're actually small.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that about me.
You don't have big eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. You do.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
I noticed your earrings.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't wear those earrings
Yeah.
often.
True.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was something else. Did I notice something else? I think I was kind of just looking.
You were too nice.
I was hyper focused on your ears. And then yeah. Well,
It's awkward, guys.
it really is.
It's awkward.
Yeah, it's done now. So that's all that matters. Okay, connection, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Let's come here. Ooh, wild card.
Oh.
Create a secret handshake?
Ooh, okay, we can do that.
Oh my gosh. It's gonna be much of a secret with the fans. with our fans.
secrets. Actually, so what do we do? What do we do?
We can pick another card.
Okay, okay.
How do you guys? Maybe next time. Ooh. How are you really?
How am I? I'm excited and anxious.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. I did mention that I got a new job,
Yes.
but I'm moving to a new city.
Oh.
Moving to Cape Town.
I think I was planning to leave it to the end, but this is a good time to say,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a co-host. Now I'm using a co-host.
Yeah. I really wanted to say, guys.
Yeah, I know. We
I was
planned it
really-
for a while.
Yeah, I was excited for it, and then this happened. I've always wanted to move to Cape Town.
Yeah,
So it's like an answered prayer.
definitely.
Yeah, so I'm excited because it's a new beginning, you know, a new city, it's a new job. But I'm very anxious because obviously my mind is trying to, it's kind of like the different scenarios. Like,
Yeah.
why did they cause our That's not the scenario I have. I'm kidding. Whoa. I'm kidding, guys. No, it's just more of like, is this the right decision for me?
Yeah.
Will I love the city? Will I love the people?
Yeah.
Will I love the job? You know, those kind of things.
Yeah. It's a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited and anxious.
You get that. You know, from my side, like I'm happy. I'm so excited for you. This is a brand new opportunity in a brand new city, and you've wanted Cape Town for so long. So I am just so excited for you. And it was a pleasure getting to also do this. Because you were there for a lot of the planning getting into this first episode. So in my heart, you'll always be my co-host.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I think there'll be a lot of chatting behind the scenes as well with regards to the podcast in any case. So it's like you're gonna be a shadow partner.
Yeah,
when
I'll
it comes
still
to
be
this.
there. I'll still be in the background. I mean, and when I am the side of it, you are busy with an episode, I will definitely pop by.
I love that.
Even if it's just to listen.
I love that so much. Thank you.
Get behind the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all are a witness to what she just said.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Yes.
Is it you now?
Yes. Oh, it's me.
I lost count.
We're on number 2.
Yes.
Wild card again.
Ah, okay.
Show the first photo in your camera roll. Explain. Oh, we can't do this.
Well, I can do it on mine.
Oh,
On the
yeah.
phone.
But my
Yeah.
photo's dead.
Yeah, those. Yeah, it's not happening. But I can at least show on this phone. My camera roll.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it is. I'm trying not to play that one play. It is the behind the scenes recording that I took right before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll flag this for everyone to see.
Yeah.
but-
Show us. Prove us.
You can even see with the date and everything
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it is that.
Okay.
So cute.
Great stuff.
I'm so cute, guys.
You are. Wait, no, but it says first photo, so that's video.
Oh.
You have to give us the photo.
Fine. I can do that as well.
Okay.
Ah, it's a GIF. Wait, okay, that doesn't count. 'cause
No,
that's not a
GIF
photo.
doesn't count, yes. So we want a photo.
Okay, let me not scroll.
First one.
Okay, it's this picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's her, guys.
Yeah, it's a picture of me. In editing mode. So I hadn't finished editing it yet. It was actually for busy with content and marketing for the podcast. So
Okay.
it's still in editing mode. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm committed to this podcast.
No, guys, she's working very hard. She's working very hard.
Okay, number 3. Take it from there. What do you recommend I let go of, if anything?
What do I recommend you need cool?
Questions got hard.
They really are. It's cool. I feel like you've let go of so many moments. What did you possibly let go of? This wouldn't be like letting go of. Maybe just being more open to dating.
Oh. We're gonna cover that in a different episode.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so I wouldn't say letting go of anything because I think you've let go of a lot of things. Yeah. And yeah, and you're living a pretty healthy life and a pretty mindful life. So I don't think there's anything I'd say you should let go of. I think just be more open to yeah.
okay, my sister. I'm not even gonna respond to that. Let's move on. Let's move on. I beg. Let's move on.
That's why I spoke of that. I knew. I just knew.
These matters of the heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just knew. As long as I just hit me to the front this time.
Okay.
Okay. What answer of mine made you light up?
What answer of yours?
Yeah.
I think the fact that you got a job.
Oh.
Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah. And just the journey, knowing what it took, what we've been through, both of us.
Yeah.
And that you are ahead, in inverted commas, of where I am. It's an inspiration to where I can get to as well. So, gosh, I am so happy for you. I'm so excited for you. They aren't words to explain it, and I can't wait to see what happens after this. So
excited. I was excited for you. I think, like, I know it's gonna be one of your best journeys, especially when you look back. You know, in the moment, it looks like it's a mess.
yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like when you look back, you're going to be you, and you're going to be where you should be. So I'm also very excited to see where you're going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So sweet. We're totally having a girl moment. I know,
Guys.
It was fun. Yeah.
Really was.
I think this is a good time to bring it to a close.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will let you clear this.
Oh, okay. All right. One thing that I would mention about what's to expect for the next few episodes is a lot of unconventional stories that a lot of us or people that I'm going to bring on this series will share. And I really think it's important for us to really see the different perspectives. And that's why it was important for us to make this episode. I am excited, but also nervous in terms of what's to come. But I really think that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to all of you for watching, for listening. It's going to be upwards from here. And genuinely, I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm sad. You don't want to be like really part of it, but I'm also really excited.
Yeah.
Especially because I know what you're planning. So you guys should definitely stick around. It's going to be such an amazing journey, you know, and the stories that are gonna come out of this podcast, I think they're going to change like a lot of lives. And even if it's one person, you know, then it's changed someone's world.
Yes, yeah.
And that's more than enough. So yeah, excited too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my co-host.
And that's a wrap on today's session. Remember, breakthroughs don't happen all at once. They unfold in the moments we choose to keep going, to start again, to believe that more is possible. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that their story isn't over. And as you go, keep rising, keep pushing, and most of all, keep believing. This is the Breakthrough Sessions podcast, where every ending is just a new beginning. Until next time.